Hey gang, Troy here. I thought I'd give you a little walk around video before I start doing stuff to the Tempest, soon to be GTO. I'm actually, I haven't really done anything to the car yet. Just got it home last night. So it kind of sits as I purchased it. Still filthy, but I wanted to at least capture what it looked like before I start digging in. I'm kind of anxious to start doing some stuff to it. I gotta be careful because my wife wants me to do stuff to the house. So I gotta be cognizant of how much time I'm spending here, but want to at least walk around and kind of show you what we're starting with here. So starting off at the front, you can see it's got the original chrome front bumper. And what I like about Tempests is that I believe, at least from the research I've done thus far, is the chrome bumper is the same dimensions as the Endura bumper. That is not true in 69. So what that may allow me to do, and there'll be more to come on this, but my out of the box, out of the gate plan is to start sanding on this to essentially scuff up the chrome and then get a good self-etching primer and then get it in a matte black to be painted later, body colored like a GTO. Most GTOs would be. You could get a chrome bumper on a GTO in 68. Now the 69s use a different type of bumper that kind of turns down toward the nose, and that really, you know, that's nothing like the Endura bumper, so you can't really do anything. So being a 68, this really allows me to potentially use this bumper rather than spending $500 plus hardware for another one. Valance panel would be the same. That is maybe going to need tweaked. It's got a little bit of a bend in the front, I think, where they maybe bump something. So may have to do something with there. The engine compartment is actually pretty clean, I think. It might be hard to tell from this video, but right now I think we're just really looking at a little bit of dirt, and it's not even a ton. They actually did a pretty good job. David and his brother Chris, who I bought the car from, they actually rebuilt the motor and stuff, and they've actually seemed to have done a pretty good job. I got to sort out some things with the wiring. I'm not exactly, I think that's a kill switch. Not sure if I really need that, but they put new brakes on it and put new lines, brake lines, and all that sort of stuff. Fortunately, I don't have a brake booster or air conditioning to really worry about. I know that may sound a little sacrilegious because most people want that kind of stuff on their car, but in my opinion, when you start looking at a car that you want to kind of pretty up a little bit, it's just more stuff to work around in the engine compartment. Not to mention the evaporator and all that sort of stuff really gets in the way, and it clutters it up, to be totally honest. So me personally, I'm kind of glad it's not there. But anyway, you can see the motor really, you know, looks pretty good. They've at least done a quick shot of first pass at trying to keep her cleaned up. They got a brand new Edelbrock carb on it, new air cleaner and all that sort of stuff. Got some decent valve covers. So really, I think detailing this is going to be fun. I mean, the motor runs well, seems to. So I think really the first shot at detail in this area is going to be really fun because I won't have a lot of degreasing to do and all that sort of stuff. Just really be cleaning up a little bit and shooting a little paint. And anyway, it'll look nice. Now, on the other side, right above that though, I'm about ready to probably pull this hood off. And I'll kind of have it. I'll hold on to it because I don't have anywhere to put it. I'll put it in the garage, obviously, but I don't know if I'm going to haul it off or not. I mean, it's been bent, and they were actually having to, because of that being bent, it hooks up on this latch, and they almost have to pry it up to get it open. So anyway, I'm probably going to pull that off because I'm going to get a GTO hood with the scoops anyway. So more to come on that. Windshield's not in bad shape. It's not cracked. One thing I did notice here this morning, a little bit ago, is it does seem to have a little bit of an etching from wearing of the wiper blades at some point. And it looked like it gouged it just or scratched it, you know. But I haven't tried to, you know, clean that off and see if it's, you know, if it's etched, but I think it is. This car does have all the trim. Trim seems to be in pretty good shape. Whoever painted this car, which I don't think was David and Chris, I hope not, because now I'm about to talk bad about him if it is, but I'm pretty sure that he said that they didn't do this, but essentially it looks like somebody's done this with a spray can. So you can kind of see that on here. It's just terrible. So honestly, I think if you did what you know, if you took your time and did it right, you could probably get a lot better results with a spray can than this even looks. So this really looks pretty crazy, but nonetheless, it's everything's solid. Roof quarters look pretty good. I think there's probably a little bit of filler in there, but not very much, I don't believe. Again, I haven't gotten into it, but from all the tapping around that I've been doing, there is a little bit of rust on the bottom of the fenders, the front fenders that I'm gonna have to contend with to see how bad that is, but it doesn't look like it'd be too terrible, and I think I can salvage them. One thing I haven't done yet, I'm about to, so we're gonna see how bad this looks. I hope that I'm in good shape here, but we're gonna look at the doors underside here and see how bad the doors are. Man, I'll tell you what, let's see, wow. You guys see the original color of the car? This was actually a turquoise car, which honestly is beautiful. I'll put a photo up in the video so you can kind of see this, but wow, these doors are cleaner than I expected, to be totally honest. Especially the driver's door. For some reason, the driver's door seems to always get it worse. The rockers seem to be in pretty, whoops, not down far enough, sorry. Seem to be in pretty decent shape. Man, that's actually cleaner than I expected. See if you can get a look. I don't know if I got enough light, guys, and I apologize. But if you look at the frame, got a little bit of peeling and stuff of paint, but man, I don't see any rust. Now, I will say that I think the floor pans are gonna need a little bit of attention, but the question is how bad, right? Because I can see right here there is some holes starting, right? But, and this is a little damp. This traveled in the rain, and he had it sitting outside. But if you look, start to look down into the pan, it looks like it might be okay. So we'll have to look at where some of those inserts go and see if there's any rusting around there. But if I pull this pad up, you can start to see, I think, I might be surprised on how clean. I hope I am. So more to come on that, right? Door jambs all look good. You see some peeling paint, no big deal. Again, there's the color. Interior is obviously going to need replaced at some point, but for the time being, you know, it may be okay for now. One thing I'm going to have to do is something on this steering wheel. The column, there's some debate on whether this column has been replaced. It's in horrible shape, and the column belonged to a column shift car, and I believe this has the 2-speed transmission in it. So I'm not sure. These appear to be original seats. These are what you would normally find in a 68 with this pattern. This is my 5th 68, and these seats look original to this car. So that tells me that that's probably original as well, but I need to do a little bit of investigation to see, and it looks like they may have just replaced the steering column for whatever reason. Now, that being said, I won't go into it right now, but there's a little bit of weirdness going on with the column and the shifter here, where they're like competing. So I don't know how they could possibly both be hooked up, but once I get under the car and figure out all of that, I'll let you know. I'll do separate video on that. Anyway, you can see some peeling on the armrest there, and this one's totally missing. So those will need to be replaced. The dash itself is actually not too bad. They've cut up a bit where the stereo is, and it's got a fairly nice deck in it with 6x9s, but you can see where they've kind of cut that straight down and where that looks kind of crappy. The gauges themselves are kind of cloudy, and the lenses and all of that, so we're going to have to do something there eventually. The knobs and stuff are kind of coming off, and I think I've got them all in the trunk, or I had them in the trunk. Cigarette lighter I still have. Anyway, original paddles. There's some wires kind of hanging down. I did do a pretty good job here putting a triple gauge in, and it actually seems to function pretty well, and actually looks nice when it's lit up. Looks like a decent set. Got the ashtray. Let's see. This is as it sat when I got it, so it looks like it's still got the 68 GTO guide in it. I've got a couple of these, and here we go. Yep, owner's manual. What do you think of that? Pretty cool. So got another one of those, so that's good. Console lid's missing. I think that whole console honestly is going to come out anyway. Not sure what I'm going to do there, but I'd like to put a different shifter in. The doors open and close pretty well. The passenger side's better than this one, but needs a little bit, but not too bad. Might need some adjustment on the hinges. Got a little pitting going on the handles here. Again, all the trims there. Still see the original color poking out in places. Quarters all look good. This has got some scratches on it, and I thought this was cracking in a body filler or something, but it's not. That's actually super smooth. There's a little bit of bubbling here, just a little bit. Whoops, put the camera on it here. But that actually looks not bad. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes, because I think those are pretty darn solid. The other places that you find these rust out really bad is back here. And I think there is a little bit. There's some bubbling there. So we may have to do a little bit of work there. But I think it's manageable. Side marker lights, a little bit of pitting, no big deal. We'll probably use them as is. I may replace them later. Take a look at this back bumper, and then I'll show you the trunk. But the back bumper is got a little surface rust on it. Not a big deal at all, because I'm going to sand that down, and we're going to paint it body color. That wasn't normally body color like the front bumper was on GTOs, but I did that on a 68 I had before, and honestly, it looks nice. It's got the Tempest tail light lenses in there. I think the Le Mans ones have vertical bars in there, and the GTOs have another horizontal line break in the lens. But these will work for now. I may eventually put some 68 GTO ones in there. Probably will, but I think for now these might work. Fuel filler door. Pull that down. Put the fuel in here behind the license plate. That looks good. Actually got a license plate, or a gas tank that they gave me with the car that's brand new, but it didn't have the filler neck on it. And I don't think you'd want to use the original filler neck if you're going to take all that apart. Might as well get a new one. So once I do that, I'll have to certainly get another neck. So this looks pretty ugly. However, I think most of this is surface rust. And I think, time will tell, but I think I can scrape most of this down. So this would be one of the first things I do as well. And this had some dampness in here. They had a bunch of boxes and stuff, and this weather stripping looks terrible right here. So it got some moisture in it because this car was sitting outside. But I think, for the most part, I could probably scrape a lot of this down and give it some coating, like some lizard skin or something like that. And we're going to see how that plays out. But I think we might be able to salvage this for now. We might want to put pans in it later, but we're going to be doing this on a budget. So I got to try to save money where I can, and I think I can get this to work for now. You see the speakers underneath there. But anyway, I had some fans on this trying to dry everything out because this will not be sitting outside from this point forward. So get everything dried off, which we're getting there now. I think everything's pretty dry. I've got to use the shop vac to get a bunch of debris that was down in here. We'll just see if we can, not enough light, but a little bit of debris on both sides I'm going to try to pull out of there, the shop vac. But what I want to show you here, this is cool too. Here's the underside of the trunk lid. Now, when I first looked at this, I thought, oh, wait a minute. But if you take a closer look at this, this is, at first glance, looks like rust. But if you kind of pick at it, it's actually peeling paint, which is really great because look at this. Unfortunately, I don't think I can show this very good with my iPad here, but that is solid. There is hardly any rust there. That's all peeling paint. So I'll flake all that off and I'll see what we really have, but I think this thing is going to look good. It looks terrible there because of the discoloration of the paint they tried to paint over the original paint. But I really think this is solid. I'm going to tell you, these things are notorious for rusting out like crazy. So anybody that's done these knows that. I'm going to remove the Pontiac emblem here. GTOs did not have it. And frankly, I don't really like the way it looks. So I'm going to pull that off, fill the holes in. I'll do that whenever I work on the bumper probably. Back window, you know, seems to be okay, about what you'd expect. Again, trim's all there, right? Here's another place that these tend to rust out, especially if they have vinyl tops, which I don't believe this one did, but I'm going to get the PHS on this and get all the documentation on this car from Pontiac Historical Services. But look at that. The red GTO, I used to have the 68. I had to end up replacing a lot of this with metal. I had the body shop do it because I tried to do it and I had to put a lot of filler in it. This is not rusted at all. It's nice. Again, a little bit of work to do down here. It's hard to see in this light, but I'll get some better shots of it later. But again, look down there. It's pretty darn straight. Pretty straight. They put some what I would call aftermarket wheels, but these were on like an S10. I still think they're probably aftermarket. They're probably not even, I'm not even sure they'd be something you'd find on an S10, but that's what they were off of, and they put brand new tires on it, so it's got new tread, which is good. Try to get another shot. Okay, so here's something else I haven't done. Let's look at this door. See if I can open this up without hitting my car. All right, let's take a shot. All right. Whoops. Sorry about the. I'm not getting enough light on this, but man, look at that! Holy moly! I am really surprised how clean these doors really are. Look at that. You can see up there toward the fender, there's a little bubbling starting on the rocker in the bottom of that fender. But I think I can clean that up, especially for the short term, without actually having to replace a bunch of metal. So again, same thing on the carpet. I don't think there's a lot to, I'm going to have to take this all the way out to show you guys the whole story, but, well, because I don't know it yet, but I think we might be good here. So here, you can, you're still seeing the little padding or the underlayment there, and it's actually kind of damp. So somewhere along the line, we got something letting some moisture in. So I'll have to check on that. It might be one of those things that's displaced and it might be leaking, or there might actually be a hole that I'm not aware of yet. So we'll see. Another shot of the dash pad, which is cracked. And I think when I do the interior, when I really do a full bore, kind of really put the effort into replacing things in the interior, I think I'm going to go with turquoise. It just looks really, really nice. Anyway, so you can kind of see original color, and then you got this great paint job on the top. You can really see it on the hood too. Antenna doesn't look very good. Probably replace that. Still got the for sale signs in it. Haven't pulled those out yet. All right, so almost done here. So you can kind of see the fender itself, you know, again, still pretty good. So the sheet metal on this car really isn't that bad. The paint job kind of makes it look a lot worse than it is. And I think the first thing, I'll start sanding on the panels and all that stuff when I get around to it here over the next month or so. And we'll see what we end up with. But I'm probably just going to put it in primer or maybe a matte black, you know, for the time being until I'm ready to paint it. And that's going to be a while. Honestly, that could be over a year before I'm ready to give her a full paint job. But in the interim, we're going to work on some of these other things. And I could change my mind. Maybe I'll do it sooner. I don't know. But anyway, that's kind of what we got. So I just wanted to show you that before I start cleaning stuff up. And that way we have a baseline. So anyway, thanks for watching. And stay tuned and watch this transformation.